The moment humans walked away, fear gripped the Galactic Council. The humans had always been quiet observers in the Galactic Council. They were not the strongest species, nor the largest, nor the fastest, but somehow they had earned a reputation that no other species could match. Their ships were not the most armed, yet they moved with purpose and precision. Their words were few, but always true. Aliens often said that humans had a strange kind of power. It was not power of force. It was power of choice. John Carter, the human envoy, stood on the council platform, looking across the room filled with creatures of every shape and size. Some had 4 arms, some had no eyes, some had skin that shimmered like metal. John did not flinch. He had stood here many times before. He had learned that fear would never help him, and arrogance would never help him either. He waited for the council to speak, listening carefully. Emma Ross, the human science advisor, was seated quietly behind him. She spoke rarely. When she spoke, the council paid attention because her words were measured and true. Today, she held a small tablet in her hands and tapped it lightly. It recorded the data of human trade routes, rescue fleets, and space exploration logs. Humans had contributed more to the council than any other species, but that was not why Emma's voice mattered. It was because she understood things clearly and did not hide from difficult truths. Today, the council was tense. A new alien alliance, the Zarath, had come forward with proposals. Their laws were strict and controlling. They wanted to limit human movement across the galaxy, regulate human ships, and control which planets humans could visit. Most species in the council nodded and murmured agreement. They liked the idea of control. They liked power. Humans, however, valued freedom above all. John listened, quietly observing the faces around him. He noticed how the Zorath delegates leaned forward, proud and confident. Their leader, a tall figure with glowing eyes named Therk, spoke in a booming voice. "Humans have always done well under council guidance," Therk said. "We only ask that they follow rules for the safety of the galaxy. These laws are fair. These laws are necessary." Some council members clapped politely. Some nodded. A few whispered among themselves. John raised his hand and spoke, his voice calm but firm. "We appreciate the need for safety," he said, "but humans value choice. Our history shows we do not accept control over our movement or our ships. We ask that this be considered before passing these laws." There was a pause. Therk's eyes narrowed. "Humans are quiet and small," he said. "Surely they will comply. History shows it." John did not argue. He simply said, "History shows humans act for principle, not fear. We do not always follow because it is easy. We follow because it is right." There was a low murmur in the council chamber. Some aliens looked confused. Some looked annoyed. Therk raised his glowing hand and said, "Very well. Humans may take time to respond, but I expect agreement soon." After the meeting, John and Emma returned to their human station. The human station was simple compared to the enormous council chambers. It was quiet and neat. John sat at a small desk while Emma displayed charts and records on a screen. "They will not understand," Emma said softly. "They think humans follow like others. They cannot imagine we choose differently." John nodded. "They never have," he said, "but we do not need them to understand. We only need to act. It is what humans have always done. We make choices and we live with them." Emma looked at the screen showing maps of trade routes and fleets. "If we leave, it will change everything. Not only for humans, but for them too. They rely on us more than they know." John leaned back. "That is the point. They will feel the effect, but we will not act from anger. We will act from principle. They must learn that humans are not tools. Humans are partners, or we are nothing." Meanwhile, on the council station, the Zorath Alliance celebrated quietly. They believed the humans would agree soon. Many council species had already signed the laws without question. Some smiled and whispered to one another, proud of their control. They did not realize that the humans were quietly preparing to act in a way no one expected. Alex Brown, human fleet coordinator, was reviewing ship readiness. He spoke to John and Emma over a secure channel. "All fleets are ready for movement," he said. "If we choose to leave, we can do so without a single delay. No fleet will be lost. All trade can be paused. All stations closed. Our response will be swift and careful." Kate Miller, a human diplomat, joined the discussion. "We need to be clear," she said. "Our decision is not a threat. We are not angry. We are walking away. It is simple. We value freedom. We value choice." "They cannot force that," John nodded. "Make preparations quietly. The council must not panic until it is too late. We leave on our terms, not theirs. Remember, human strength is in our unity and our will, not in our weapons." The humans worked silently over the next few days. Supplies were readied, fleets were organized, messages were prepared, carefully worded. They did not speak of war, they spoke of principle. The council, in contrast, grew impatient. Therk sent a message to John asking for human agreement. John replied politely. "Humans are considering the proposals. We ask for more time." Therk's eyes glowed brightly. He expected a yes. He expected compliance. He did not expect calm refusal. On the last day before humans acted, Emma gathered the senior human team. "Remember," she said, "we do not act from anger or fear, we act from choice. We leave, but we do not destroy. We pause, but we do not threaten. We show that humans are human. Our power is our freedom, not our ships." John stood beside her. "The galaxy will notice. It may take them time to understand. Some will never understand. That is fine. Humans do not require understanding to act rightly. We act because it is necessary, not convenient." The day came. The council chamber was filled as usual. Aliens were expecting a response. Therk leaned forward, glowing eyes sharp. He believed the humans would agree. John stepped forward. "The humans have considered the proposals," he said. His voice was calm and firm. "After careful thought, we have decided to reject the new laws. Humans will no longer participate under these conditions. We will remove our fleets, close our trade stations, and withdraw from shared responsibilities. This is not anger. This is principle." There was silence. Whispers started. Council members stared. Therk's glowing eyes widened. Some small species gasped. Some tried to argue. John raised his hand. "We do not wish conflict," he said. "We wish only to act according to our values. Humans are leaving, but we leave peacefully. Our ships will move away in order. Our trade will pause respectfully. No lives will be harmed. This is our choice." The council did not know how to respond. They had never seen this. Many had tried to threaten humans, bribe them, or promise rewards. Humans had always been polite but firm. This time humans were leaving entirely. Not in anger, not in fear, just leaving. John returned to the human station. Emma looked at him and smiled slightly. "They are stunned," she said. "They thought we would never act. They thought we would comply. Now they know humans make choices." Alex Brown checked fleets. "All ships ready," he said. "Departure in 10 hours. Kate Miller sent a final message to the council. "Humans act from principle. We leave not to punish but to show our values. May this help all species understand that freedom is not given, freedom is chosen." The humans prepared quietly. Fleets moved into position. Supplies were secured. Messages were sent to every trade station. Humans did not celebrate. They did not taunt. They simply acted. They moved with precision. They moved with purpose. The council waited, unsure what would happen. They had never experienced this. Some species whispered that humans would fail. Some feared the unknown. Therk glared at the human communications and saw calm, precise, and confident movement. The humans were leaving. John watched as the last human shuttle moved out. He felt no anger, no fear. He felt only clarity. Humans were walking away, and the galaxy would feel the result. Not as punishment, but as truth. Humans had made their choice, and no one could stop it. The council chamber was quiet for hours. Some species tried to plan. Some tried to send messages. Others hid in fear. They did not realize that humans did not need to act violently. Their power was in walking away, and the council was powerless to stop Principal. Emma looked at John. "They will learn," she said softly. "It may take time, some will never understand, some will panic, but humans have shown what matters most: freedom and choice. Our ships, our fleets, our presence, these are tools, our principle is power." John nodded. "We act quietly but with certainty. Humans are humans, our strength is our will. The moment we walk away, the galaxy begins to see. We do not rush, we do not shout, we do not fight. We simply leave, and in leaving we teach more than words ever could." As the human fleets disappeared into the stars, the council began to feel the first stirrings of fear. They did not know it yet, but their confidence was shaken. Their plans would fail. Their laws would be useless. Humans had reminded the galaxy of something no one else had remembered, that true strength comes not from force but from choice. John looked at the stars, calm and steady. The humans had made their move. The galaxy would never be the same. The humans returned to their main station after leaving the council chambers. The station was quiet, organized, and filled with calm energy. Every human knew their role. Every fleet officer knew their orders. This was not chaos and it was not panic. It was precision. Alex Brown, the fleet coordinator, gathered the leaders in the command room. The walls were lined with screens showing human ships, trade routes, and space lanes. Alex spoke in his normal, calm voice. "We must act carefully. Our fleets will move, but without causing fear or destruction. We show principle, not anger. Remember that." Kate Miller, the diplomat, nodded. "The council believes humans will return when pressured. They do not understand that we choose our own path. We leave on our terms, we pause trade, we close stations, we withdraw our fleets, all in order, nothing more." John Carter, the human envoy, added, "Many in the council think they have leverage. They do not. Human power is not weapons. Human power is our choice. We will show that clearly without threat or hostility." Emma Ross, the science advisor, tapped her tablet. "We have mapped all shared systems, all council stations, all trade and rescue operations. If we move carefully, the transition will not harm anyone, but it will make our absence felt. That is important. Absence teaches more than words." The humans prepared quietly. Ships were checked, supply stores organized, communication channels secured. Humans did not shout. They did not argue, they simply prepared. Meanwhile, on the council station, the Zoreth and other species noticed the human calm. Therk glared at his communications panel. "They do not panic," he said. "Surely they will not act. They are small. They have few ships." A council advisor, a tall alien named Varin, replied nervously, "They are quiet, but their organization is unmatched. They may surprise us." Therk waved his glowing hand. "Impossible. Humans have never refused council decisions before. They will comply." Varin looked unsure. "I think they will leave, but carefully. They do not make threats. They do not attack. Their action will be silent." Back at the human station, John Carter walked through the hallways, observing the teams. Each human was calm, focused, and ready. They moved with purpose, not panic. He knew that many alien species would underestimate them. That was fine. It always worked to their advantage. Alex Brown called for a meeting with fleet captains. "Ships must move in sequence. No collisions, no blockages. We leave peacefully. All trade stations are to be closed after proper notice. Rescue operations paused but documented. Everyone must follow protocol. Precision is more important than speed." One captain, David Reed, spoke up. "Should we prepare messages for smaller species that rely on us?" Kate Miller nodded. "Yes, messages must be clear, polite, and instructive. We leave not to abandon but to teach respect. They will feel our absence. That is the lesson." Emma Ross added, "Our scientific stations will be paused. All research shared with Council will be documented and sent. No data lost. Humans act responsibly. Principle and responsibility go together." John Carter addressed the group. Humans do not act to punish. Humans act to show that choice matters. We leave. They will notice. They will feel consequences, but we will not harm. Absence will teach more than force ever could. Hours passed as preparations continued. Every ship was inspected. Every supply checked. Every human officer reviewed the plan. No mistakes were allowed. Calm filled the station. Humans did not speak loudly. They did not quarrel. They simply acted with precision. In the council, whispers grew. Humans are preparing, Varin said nervously. Therk's glowing eyes narrowed. They will comply soon. They always comply. But the humans did not comply. They moved, slowly, quietly, precisely. Ships began leaving council stations. Trade was paused politely. Rescue fleets returned to human stations. Communication messages were sent explaining principle, not anger. On a distant station, a small species called the Venari noticed the silence. They had relied on human trade ships for months. Their leader, Lyra, spoke to her council. Humans are not here. We do not know why. A young Venari officer checked communications. No messages. No arrivals. Our supply chains are slowing, Lyra frowned. They would not abandon us without reason. Perhaps the humans are angry. Perhaps they have left. Back at the human station, John received messages from smaller species. They were polite, explaining their withdrawal and principle. No threats, no anger. The humans simply acted according to their values. Kate Miller smiled. They will learn. Absence will teach more than arguments. Humans act quietly, but the impact is felt. Alex Brown coordinated fleets carefully. Ships move in sequence. Trade stations closed. All operations paused, all according to plan. No accidents. Human precision is unmatched. As the human fleets moved, the council began to feel the first stirrings of concern. Smaller species started to panic. Supply chains slowed. Rescue calls went unanswered. The council had not realized how much the galaxy depended on humans. Therk's glowing eyes burned with frustration. They cannot leave. They will return. They always return. Varin shook his head. This is different. They do not threaten. They do not fight. They simply leave, calmly, quietly, and the effect is immediate. On the human station, Emma Ross reviewed data. Trade delays are already being noticed. Rescue calls unfulfilled. Smaller species are panicking, all without violence, just absence. Our principle is working. They understand without threats. John nodded. They will feel the impact, they will feel our value, but they will not fear humans, only respect the choice. That is the difference. Messages continued to be sent. Humans explained politely that they would not return until the council respected freedom and equality. No insults, no threats, only clarity and principle. The Zarath and other council members argued. They will come back. They always do. Not this time, Varin said quietly. They do not need us to force action. They act by principle, and they are already changing the galaxy simply by leaving. Over the following weeks, human absence spread. Trade slowed dramatically. Rescue calls went unanswered. Communication delays increased. The council could no longer ignore the impact. Some species panicked. Some whispered that humans had underestimated. John and Emma watched carefully. We act quietly, John said, but with precision. The galaxy will notice. They will see the value humans bring. They will learn that we cannot be controlled. Kate Miller added, absence teaches what words cannot. Principle is stronger than law. Freedom is stronger than force. They will feel it. On a distant trade station, a small alien leader, Marn, said, humans are gone, trade is slowing, supply is low. The council underestimated humans. Therk glared at his console. This is impossible. They will return. Varin shook his head. We do not understand them. They do not act like other species. They do not fight. They do not threaten. They act on principle, and principle is stronger than any law. Back on the human station, John spoke to the team. We have acted as we must. Humans leave quietly without anger or fear. We have shown the council that our choice is our power. Our ships, our fleets, our trade, these are tools, our principle is strength. They will feel it, and they will learn. Emma Ross smiled faintly. They already are. Smaller species are panicking. Council members are unsure, all without conflict. The lesson is clear. The humans continued their careful withdrawal. Fleets moved along the mapped routes. Stations closed systematically. Every message was polite and explanatory. No human acted hastily. No human acted violently. Over time, the Galactic Council began to realize the truth. Humans were not just another species to be controlled. Humans were a force of principle. Humans could walk away. Humans could refuse compliance. Humans could act without anger, without threat, and still command attention. John looked out at the stars, calm and steady. Humans have acted. We have shown the Council and the galaxy what matters most. Our choice is our power. Our principle is our strength. Our absence teaches more than our presence ever could. The human fleets continued to move, slowly and carefully. Trade and rescue paused. Smaller species felt the effect immediately. The Council began to whisper among themselves. They did not understand fully yet. Some began to feel fear. Emma Ross said, "Principle is never seen in a shout or a fight. It is seen in action, in consistency, in calm decision. They will see it now." John nodded. The galaxy is learning. Humans act not for themselves alone, but for truth. Our departure shows the cost of control. Our absence shows the value of freedom. All will remember. As the last human ship moved beyond Council space, silence filled the chamber. The Council had expected obedience or anger or negotiation. Instead, they faced absence. Quiet, calm, complete absence. This was the moment the Council began to understand. Humans acted not from weakness, not from fear, not from anger. Humans acted from choice. Humans acted from principle. And that principle would echo across the galaxy, shaping decisions, alliances, and respect for decades to come. Weeks passed since the humans had quietly left the Council. The galactic stations felt emptier. Trade routes slowed. Rescue fleets no longer answered calls. Small planets that once relied on human help started to worry. On the distant planet of Noria, Governor Lyra of the Venari species watched her supply channels collapse. Food shipments were delayed. Medical supplies did not arrive. Her people whispered fearfully. "Where are the humans?" asked one of her aides. "They are gone," Lyra said softly. "They have always been reliable. Now they are gone, and we do not know why." On another station, a young alien trader named Tommen tried to communicate with human trade ships. Nothing responded. The screens showed empty space. For the first time, Tommen felt panic. "Why are the humans gone?" he asked aloud. Back on the human station, John Carter and Emma Ross observed the galaxy quietly. They were calm. Human fleets moved methodically. Trade pauses were documented. Rescue operations were paused but fully recorded for reference. Humans were leaving but without harm. Kate Miller sent another message to the Council, polite but firm. "Humans have withdrawn from Council operations. We act according to principle. Our choice is our strength. We pause trade and rescue temporarily to show the value of human presence. No aggression is intended. We act from principle, not anger." Therk, the Zorath leader, glared at the message. "This cannot be. Humans cannot leave permanently. They are small. They have few ships. They will return." Varin, a council advisor, shook his head. "We do not understand them. They do not threaten. They do not attack. They leave quietly, calmly. Absence is their weapon, and it is working." As weeks continued, the effects of human absence became impossible to ignore. Supply lines across several sectors began to fail. Medical stations reported shortages. Rescue fleets failed to reach planets struck by accidents or disasters. Alex Brown coordinated human fleets carefully. "All withdrawals are proceeding as planned," he reported. "No collisions, no errors, all stations informed, all messages sent. Principle guides our actions and precision ensures our effect is clear." John Carter looked at the fleet displays. They will feel it soon. They always relied on humans without realizing it. Our absence will remind them. Absence teaches more than argument. Absence teaches respect. Emma Ross tapped her tablet. Smaller species are beginning to panic. Council communications indicate growing confusion. They do not yet understand why we act, but they will. This is exactly the lesson. On the council station, panic began to spread. Smaller species whispered among themselves. Some of them had relied on human trade, rescue, and guidance. Now, with humans gone, they struggled to survive. This cannot continue, Therk said angrily. Send messages, demand their return, threaten them if needed. Varin shook his head. Threats will not work. Humans do not act from fear. They do not act from anger. They act from principle. And principle is stronger than threats. John Carter received council messages asking for human return. He read them carefully and then drafted a polite response. Humans will not return until they are treated as equals. We do not act out of defiance. We act according to principle. Respect and freedom must be honored before our return. Kate Miller smiled. They are beginning to feel the impact. Smaller species panic. Council members whisper. Absence is more powerful than any weapon. Alex Brown monitored fleet movements. All fleets in perfect formation. No miscommunication. Every trade station closed properly. Every fleet accounted for. Our action is precise. Our message is clear. On a distant rescue station, an alien medic named Zira spoke to her colleagues. We have no human help. The floods in our region are getting worse. We cannot reach everyone. Humans are gone. What do? The council was in chaos. Species that had relied on humans for decades were suddenly vulnerable. Alliances began to fracture. Old enemies started small conflicts, knowing human oversight was gone. John watched the reports quietly. We act without violence, he said. Yet the galaxy feels our absence. That is the power of principle. Humans act calmly, but our choice is felt across space. Emma Ross added, the Council is realizing the truth. Humans are not tools. Humans are not servants. Humans are equals, and our choice to leave proves it. They will learn respect, whether they like it or not. Therk could barely hide his frustration. He tried sending more orders to human fleets. Nothing changed. Humans did not respond to threats. Humans did not respond to anger. They acted with precision, principle, and calm. Varin said quietly, they are teaching us a lesson we should have learned long ago. Humans are not like other species. They do not act from fear. They act from choice. And that choice is stronger than any law. On a remote planet, Governor Lyra struggled to feed her people. Why did the humans leave? She asked herself. They have always helped. Now they are gone, and we feel it in every delay, every empty supply. Back on the human station, John addressed his team. Our fleets continue to move carefully. Every trade station paused. Every rescue fleet withdrawn. Every message polite and clear. We do not act with anger or force. We act from principle. The galaxy is learning the value of humans. Emma Ross nodded. Absence teaches more than words. Principle is more powerful than law. Our calm actions are changing the galaxy, slowly but surely. As human fleets continued their withdrawal, small species began to panic openly. Council records showed confusion and fear. Pirates and rogue groups began to exploit the lack of human patrols. The galaxy felt disorder for the first time in decades. Kate Miller sent another message to the Council. Humans leave not to harm, but to show truth. Our choice is our strength. Respect must precede our return. We do not threaten. We only act according to principle. Therk slammed his hand on his console. Impossible, they are small, they have few ships, we can overwhelm them, we will force them back. Varin shook his head. You cannot, they do not act like us. Humans do not respond to force. Their strength is their choice. Absence teaches more than threats ever could. John looked at the star charts. The galaxy is learning. It will feel our absence. Some will panic. some will whisper, some will understand slowly. All will remember that humans acted not from anger but from principle. That is our power. On several small planets, governors and leaders discussed the sudden lack of human help. We relied on humans, said one. Now we see how much we depended on them. We cannot manage without their guidance and trade. The council began to convene emergency meetings. We underestimated humans, said one member. We thought they would comply. We thought they would return. Now we see the truth. Humans act from principle and they do not yield. Therk glared at the reports. They cannot be this powerful. They are small and they do not fight, yet our control is slipping. Varin replied quietly, "This is what happens when a species acts according to principle. Humans do not need to fight. Humans do not need to shout. Humans act calmly and clearly and the galaxy responds." Back on the human station, John spoke to the human team. "Our withdrawal is complete in most sectors. Some trade paused. Some rescue operations paused. Our action is clear. Principle matters more than law. Our comm acts have more impact than any fleet." Emma Ross said, "We have taught the galaxy without force. We have shown them that humans are not tools, humans are not servants, humans are partners. Absence teaches respect." Small species across the galaxy began to send messages to the council, pleading for human return. "Without humans we cannot manage," they said. "Please bring them back. We need their help." John read some of the messages. They will plead, some will fear, some will whisper. All will notice that humans act with principle. That is enough, Kate Miller smiled. Principle is stronger than fleets. Principle is stronger than laws. Absence is more powerful than violence. They will feel it. They will understand. Slowly they will respect humans. Weeks turned into months. The council began to feel the weight of human absence. Supply lines failed. Rescue operations collapsed. Conflicts began to rise where humans once mediated. The galaxy was changing, slowly and unmistakably. Therk could not hide his fear anymore. "We underestimated humans," he admitted quietly. "They are not like other species. Their calm, their precision, their choice, it is power we cannot control." Varin nodded. "They have shown us that principle is power. Their absence is teaching more than any law ever could." The moment humans walked away, the galaxy began to change. John watched the stars from the human station. "Our choice has begun to teach. We act calmly, we act precisely, we act from principle. The galaxy is learning. That is the human way." Emma Ross looked at him. "They will remember. They may not like it. Some may resist. But humans have shown the truth. Choice, principle, and freedom are the greatest strengths a species can have." The humans continued their withdrawal quietly. No one shouted. No one panicked. No one fought. And yet the galaxy trembled at the absence of humans. The quiet but undeniable force of principle. The galaxy was changing, and the council felt it in every system. Weeks of human absence had turned into months. Supply chains had broken. Rescue calls went unanswered. Small planets struggled to feed their populations. Tensions rose between alien factions that humans had once mediated. Therk paced the council chamber. His glowing eyes were sharp, but anger could not fix what humans had done. "This cannot continue," he said. "We cannot let humans stay away. They are small, they are few. We should overwhelm them and force their return." Varin shook his head slowly. "You still do not understand. Humans do not act from fear. They do not act from anger. They act from principle. Absence is their weapon, and it is stronger than any threat. You cannot control it." On the planet Noria, Governor Lyra struggled to feed her people. The Venari had relied on human trade for decades. Now, shipments were delayed and medicine was running low. She gathered her council. "We cannot manage without humans," she said. "Our people are starving. Our hospitals cannot treat everyone. We need them back." One advisor said quietly, "We sent messages. They will return surely." Lyra shook her head. "We do not understand humans. They act according to principle. They will not return until we respect them fully. We must wait. but waiting may cost lives. Back on the human station, John Carter and Emma Ross watched the reports. Humans were calm, precise, and steady. Their fleets moved in order. Trade stations remained closed temporarily. Rescue fleets stayed in position for safety but did not intervene in Council-controlled areas. Alex Brown, fleet coordinator, reported, "All fleets remain in formation. Trade paused. Rescue fleets paused. We act from principle and the galaxy is beginning to feel it. Small species are panicking. Council factions argue. Our message is clear." Kate Miller added, "They will understand soon. Absence teaches more than words. Principle is more powerful than threats." The Council feels it, though they do not yet admit it. On a distant medical station, Zira, an alien medic, spoke quietly. "We are overwhelmed. Humans are gone. Hospitals are full. We cannot reach everyone. Supplies are low. What do we do?" On the same station, one nurse said, "Humans would have helped. We depended on them. Now nothing. Chaos spreads." Back at the council chamber, species began to argue openly. Smaller factions blamed larger ones for lack of order. Old rivalries flared. Without human mediation, tensions grew into threats. Minor conflicts became serious skirmishes. Varin warned Therk, "You cannot fix this by force. Humans are not here to fight. Their absence is a lesson. Their principle is power. You underestimate them and the galaxy suffers." Therk slammed a console. "They are small. They cannot hold the galaxy's balance. We can overwhelm them if we act together." Varin shook his head. "No, they do not need to fight. Humans act from principle. Absence teaches what violence cannot. You feel fear now. That is their power. Fear is not from attack, it is from truth." On the planet Noria, Governor Lyra wrote another message to the council. "Humans are gone. We cannot manage. Our people are starving. Our hospitals are full. Return humans or we suffer. Their absence teaches truth. We must respect them to gain help." On the human station, John read the message quietly. "Principle is teaching them. We do not act violently. We act clearly and calmly. Absence has more power than fleets or weapons. The galaxy is learning." Emma Ross added, "Our withdrawal is complete. Smaller species feel the effect. Council members panic. Conflicts rise. This is exactly what principle can do. They see value in humans now, even if they fear it." Alex Brown coordinated fleets carefully. "All human ships remain in formation. No error, no mistake. Our withdrawal continues according to plan. Absence is precise. The message is clear." On several small planets, leaders argued and panicked. One governor said, "We have ignored humans for too long. They are gone and now we suffer. Their strength was in principle, not force. We did not see it before." Another leader said, "We relied on their guidance. We thought humans would obey council rules. We were wrong. Humans do not obey. They act. They leave. Principle guides them and we feel it." Back at the council chamber, Therk sent new messages demanding human return. He tried to use authority, threats, and promises. Nothing changed. Human fleets did not respond. Human messages remained polite, calm, and firm. Kate Miller read the messages aloud. "Humans will not return until they are treated as equals. No force, no threats, no control. Principle is power. This is our condition. We do not act from anger, we act from clarity." Varin said quietly, "Now you see why humans are feared. Not for their ships or weapons, but for their choice. Absence is stronger than law. Absence teaches more than force. You cannot control humans, Therk." John watched the council's panic grow. "They still do not understand fully," he said, "but fear is starting. Absence teaches truth more effectively than words. Calm action has more power than any fleet or threat." Emma Ross tapped her tablet. "Small species are panicking. Supply chains are failing. Conflicts rise, all without human aggression. The galaxy feels our strength and it is principle, not weapons." On a border planet, skirmishes broke out between rival alien factions. Previously, human mediation had prevented violence. Now humans were gone, weapons fired, People ran, fear spread. Alex Brown reported, "Our fleets observe but do not interfere. Absence must teach. We act with principle. We do not fight. We do not intervene. Our power is in calm action and presence withheld." On the council station, whispers spread. "They underestimated humans," said one council member. "We thought obedience was guaranteed. We thought fear would work. We were wrong." Another council member added, "Absence teaches. Principle matters more than law. We see it now. Humans are stronger than we imagined." Back on the human station, John addressed his team. "We have acted correctly. Principle is stronger than law. Calm action is stronger than anger. Absence has changed the galaxy. Smaller species panic, council members fear, conflicts rise. Our lesson is being taught without violence." Emma Ross nodded. "They may not see clearly yet, some may resist, some may pretend to act, but the lesson is learned. Humans are not tools, humans are equals. Principle is our weapon, and it is stronger than fleets or laws." On a distant planet, Governor Lyra wrote a final message. "Humans are gone. Absence teaches truth. Respect and equality are required for return. We now understand their value. Principle is more powerful than force." John read it quietly. "They are learning. Patience and clarity are as important as fleets and weapons. Humans act without anger. Absence teaches. Principle shapes the galaxy." Kate Miller smiled. "Fear is starting. Council members whisper. Smaller species panic. Conflicts rise. This is the power humans have shown. Principle is stronger than control." Alex Brown checked fleets again. "All ships in formation. All trade paused. All rescue fleets paused. Our actions are precise. Absence is deliberate. Message is clear. Principle is power." On the council station, Therk finally admitted to himself quietly, "Humans are not small. They are not weak. They do not fight. They act from principle, and principle cannot be controlled. Fear spreads because they act with clarity, not violence. We underestimated them for decades." Varan said softly. "It took absence for the galaxy to see. Humans act without anger, without threat. Yet their power is undeniable. Principle is stronger than law. Calm action stronger than fleets. Their lesson is clear." John watched the stars from the human station. "Humans act quietly. We act calmly. Our fleets do not fight. Our trade pauses. Our rescue waits. Yet the galaxy trembles. Principle teaches more than fleets. Absence teaches more than force. Our path is clear. Humans have spoken without words, and the council has listened without understanding. That is enough." The galaxy shifted. Conflicts rose where humans once mediated. Supply chains failed where humans once guided. Rescue fleets were missing where humans once responded. Fear gripped the council. Absence had become the strongest lesson humans could give. Emma Ross said softly, "They will never forget. Some may never understand fully, but principle and choice have shown their power. Humans have acted with calm clarity. The galaxy now feels it." John nodded. "We do not act from anger, we do not act from pride, we act from principle. Absence has power, patience has power, clarity has power. The moment humans walked away, the galaxy began to change. They feel it now, and they will remember it forever." And so, as human fleets watched quietly from the edges of council space, the council learned a truth they could never have understood from words alone. Humans acted with principle, patience, and calm. Their absence taught lessons that fleets, weapons, and laws could never teach. Fear was rising. Respect was dawning. The galaxy was changing slowly, inevitably, because humans had walked away. The galaxy had changed. Months of human absence had shaken the council, challenged alliances, and tested every species that had relied on human help. Supply chains had failed, conflicts had flared, and smaller planets had begun to feel the full weight of self-reliance. Everywhere, humans had left their mark, not by fighting, not by threatening, but by withdrawing with precision and principle. On the council station, Therk paced the chamber, his glowing eyes dull with worry. "We underestimated them," he he admitted quietly to Varin. "We thought humans would comply or fear us. We were wrong. Their absence is more powerful than any fleet or weapon we could muster." Varin nodded. "Principle cannot be controlled. Humans do not act from fear. They do not act from anger, they act from choice. And now we feel it everywhere. Smaller species panic. Supply chains fail. Conflicts rise. Absence teaches more than laws ever could." Therk closed his eyes, realizing the truth. The council had relied on humans without respect, assuming obedience and compliance. Now, every plan they had made was failing, and humans remained calm, precise, and principled. Back on the human station, John Carter reviewed reports from across the galaxy. Fleets were in position, trade stations were paused, rescue operations were recorded and paused safely. Humans had not attacked, they had not threatened. They had acted according to principle, and the effect was undeniable. Emma Ross looked over his shoulder. "Smaller species are asking for help. The Council is sending messages. Fear and respect are mixed. Our lesson is understood even if grudgingly." John nodded. "Humans act quietly but with certainty. We act according to principle. Absence teaches, patience teaches, clarity teaches. The galaxy is learning. Now it is time to consider our return, not because we must, but because we are ready to act on our conditions." Alex Brown coordinated the fleets. "All stations have been observed. Supply chains and rescue networks are being restored slowly and safely. We prepare to return, but only on our terms. Precision remains our guide." Kate Miller drafted messages to the council. "Humans will return," she wrote, "but only if respect is genuine. We will act as equals. We will resume trade, rescue, and shared responsibilities. We return not as servants but as partners. Our principle guides this decision." On the council station, messages arrived from human fleets. Therk glared at the communications panel, reading calmly written instructions. Humans would return only when equality and respect were assured. The council whispered in confusion. Some species panicked. Some began to reflect. Varin said softly, "Now we see the value humans placed on principle. They will not bend. They will not obey without respect. They return because we are asked properly, not because we demand it. This is their power." Therk nodded slowly. "We have learned too late. Humans are not small. They are not weak. Their strength is in their choice. We must respect them if we hope to regain balance." On distant planets, governors like Lyra watched messages arrive. Humans would return, but under fair terms. They breathed relief, knowing help would come, but they understood the lesson. Humans could act, withdraw, and teach without violence. Absence had brought clarity. Back on the human station, John addressed his team. "We return now, but only on principle. We have taught the galaxy the cost of control. We have shown that human choice is power. Our fleets return, our trade resumes, our rescue operations restart, but we act as equals. No more obedience without respect." Emma Ross added, "They have learned. Fear and respect are both present. Our calm action has changed the galaxy. Now we return to act responsibly, to help, and to ensure principle remains valued." Alex Brown prepared the fleets. "All ships are ready, trade stations to reopen carefully. Rescue operations to resume in sequence. We act deliberately. Our lesson is complete, but our duty continues." Kate Miller sent a final message ahead of the human fleets. "Humans return peacefully. We act as partners. Equality is required. Principle guides us. Absence has taught. Presence now will help rebuild. The galaxy can move forward, but only with respect and understanding." Human fleets moved deliberately back into council space. Ships were not aggressive. They did not attack. They did not threaten. Every move was precise, every communication polite. Presence alone carried the weight of principle. On the council station, Therk watched the human ships arrive. "We feel their power," he said quietly. "It is not in weapons or fleets. It is in principle, in choice, in calm certainty. We cannot forget it." Varin nodded. They act without anger, yet the effect is undeniable. They have changed the galaxy without a single battle. Respect must now guide our actions. On planet Noria, Governor Lyra watched as human trade ships docked once again. Supplies were delivered. Medical teams returned. Rescue fleets prepared for emergencies. But all knew the humans had returned not as tools, not as servants, but as partners. Lyra turned to her council. Humans act with principle. They withdraw and we feel the cost. They return and we see the value of respect. Their lesson will not be forgotten. The galaxy is stronger because humans taught it. Back on the human station, John observed the fleets moving through council space. Our action has succeeded. We have shown that calm, precise, principled behavior can teach more than fleets, more than laws, more than threats. The galaxy is learning. Emma Ross looked at him. The lesson is clear. Fear and respect are intertwined. Principle is more powerful than control. Humans have returned to help, but on our terms. The galaxy will remember this moment. Alex Brown coordinated the fleet smoothly. Trade resumes carefully. Rescue operations resume safely. All systems monitored. Humans act as partners, not servants. Principle guides every action. Kate Miller added, "Our message is clear. Humans teach by example. Absence and return both carry lessons. The galaxy is learning that human choice cannot be ignored. Equality must be respected." On the council station, species watched humans return. Some whispered apologies. Some reflected quietly. Fear had been replaced with cautious respect. Humans had taught without violence, without threats, and without anger. The council realized for the first time that strength is not always in size or weapons. It is in principle and choice. John spoke to his team. Humans have acted with clarity. We left quietly, calmly, precisely. We returned peacefully, deliberately, with conditions. Principle has power. The galaxy has learned. Now we act to help, not to dominate, not to obey, but to guide with principle and fairness. Emma Ross nodded. Our action will be remembered. Humans have shown that true strength lies in choice, patience, and clarity. The Council now respects and the galaxy understands. On distant planets, governors and leaders spoke quietly among themselves. Humans act not from fear, not from anger, not from pride. They act from principle. They left and we suffered the absence. They returned and we understood the value of respect. The galaxy has changed. Therk looked at Varin. We have learned. Humans are not like other species. Their strength is their principle. Their absence taught fear. Their return teaches respect. We will never underestimate them again. Varin nodded. Principle is more powerful than fleets. Clarity more powerful than law. Calm action more powerful than threats. Humans have shown the galaxy the truth. Back on the human station, John addressed the team one last time. The moment humans walked away, the galaxy learned fear. The moment we return, the galaxy learns respect. Principle guides us always. Choice defines us. Calm, deliberate action shapes the galaxy. Humans have acted and the galaxy has changed. Emma Ross smiled faintly. Our lesson is complete. Our return is peaceful. Our principle remains. Humans have taught the Council and the galaxy that respect is earned, choice is power, and calm action can change worlds without a single battle. Alex Brown confirmed fleet readiness. All stations reopened. All trade resumed. All rescue fleets active. Humans return as partners, guided by principle. The galaxy feels our presence now, and it will never forget our absence. Kate Miller sent one final message across Council space. Humans act with clarity, principle, and calm. Absence taught fear. Presence now teaches respect. Equality must guide all actions. Humans are partners, not tools. The galaxy remembers. As human fleets settled into Council space, the galaxy breathed a quiet sigh of relief. Small planets received aid. Trade resumed carefully. Conflicts began to de-escalate, and everywhere the memory of human absence remained, a lesson in principle, choice, and calm strength. John looked at the stars, calm and steady. We acted with clarity. We acted with precision. We acted from principle. The galaxy has learned fear from our absence and respect from our return. Humans have spoken without weapons. Humans have taught without anger. The lesson is complete, and the galaxy will never forget it. Emma Ross added softly, "The moment humans walked away, fear gripped the council. The moment we returned, respect followed. Principle has power and humans have shown it." And so the galaxy changed forever. Humans had not fought. They had not threatened. They had acted from principle. Absence had taught fear. Return had taught respect. Calm, precise, deliberate action had shaped the galaxy. And every species, large or small, would remember the lesson. Humans act with principle, and principle is stronger than any fleet, any law, or any weapon.